Coming up in this issue of Marlborough magazine, the final acts of Sophie Burke's series on the Marlborough Repertory Theatre will raise the curtain and give you a look at what it takes to put on a play. It's becoming more and more important for each family to be responsible when it comes to recycling. Cindy Hale found out all you need to know about recycling in Marlborough. And the spooky season is upon us again. We'll tell you about a local man who really gets into the spirit. And it's all for a very good cause. All these stories are inside this issue of Marlborough magazine.
Hello, and welcome to our latest issue of Marlborough magazine. I'm Susan Loffer. Every year, George LaRasa sets up a haunted scene at his house on Prospect Street for all the residents to enjoy. This year is even better. Anyone is welcome to go by and enjoy a little Halloween fun. All George asks is that you bring some canned goods with you for donation to the food pantry here in the city.
Well, the food drive started as first just decorations. A co-worker of my wife's decided, well, with all the people you have coming here, let's get a food drive going. So my wife jumps on the internet and she wrote up a piece of paper as to what we were doing, and then it escalated from there. The donations have really been pouring in, but I hate to be greedy, but there's just not enough.
With all the cuts to the city's budget this year, all the food George collects is really appreciated.
We're really struggling to maintain the level of food that we think is right and healthy to distribute, so that, and I understand this year from talking to Carol, that he's really collected a lot of food and we're really looking forward to it. We're going around throughout the city, just anyone that will have a food drive for us right about now is extremely helpful. So what I appreciate about him is he does this with a lot of enthusiasm and fun, and it's always fun for me to know that somebody's enjoying doing these food drives. So I just have to say thank you to him for doing this for us.
For more information, you can visit his website at hometown.aol.com/hauntedhouse1. Last month, we started a 4-part piece about a new theater company looking to place its roots in Marlborough. This month, Sophie Burke takes us through the rest of the process of putting their first production together, starting with auditions as the birth of a theater continues.
You can't have a play without the actors. After a play has been selected, the next step is to find the right actors to fill the parts by having auditions. The Marlborough Repertory Theatre advertised their auditions through the web, through newspapers, and by word of mouth.
We're going to be producing The Wizard of Oz, which auditions are tonight and through Wednesday, and it will be performed at the end of August. I would like to walk into auditions and have 100 people there. Okay?
Yeah.
That's the way I always go into an audition. Now, realistically, is that going to happen? Maybe not.
The first night of auditions brings a handful of young actresses out to audition for the part of Dorothy, with a few actors going for the other roles. All the actors were asked to perform a monologue, or speech, and sing a song from the play. Amy Asman is one of the local actors who has been waiting for a venue in
My husband actually saw an ad in the newspaper saying that people in Marlborough were looking to start a theater, and I live in Marlborough. And I thought it was the perfect place for a theater. And I've often, passed through the downtown area and hoped for a show. And when I heard that they were starting a theater company in Marlborough, I was very excited.
Amy auditioned with a monologue from a play called Making Book.
No, you do not memo the editor-in-chief that you've changed the first unit of her book. It's not done. It's not. Not without consulting with her anyway. I'll kill him. I'll destroy him. Wait. Breathe. Pliability, Megan. Flexibility, Megan. moving up to become a VP, Megan. Yes. So he'd think I'll just storm in there, won't he? Well, you'll see, I'll just walk in and go, Joel, I've heard you got your memo. You changed the first unit of my book. The Melting Pot. How original.
Very nice. Okay.
Taylor Nunez, a Marlborough High School student, is one of several actresses auditioning for the lead role of Dorothy.
I was aiming for Dorothy, like everyone else there, just aiming high. I was really, really nervous.
And Taylor, would you go up on stage? And Molly, would you come up on stage?
In addition to singing and performing their monologues, Tom also has the actors perform drama exercises to judge their ability to take direction. In one exercise, the actors are given a nursery rhyme and instructed to say the rhyme with whatever emotion Tom chooses.
Taylor, distraught, very sad.
Mary had a little lamb. A little lamb. A little lamb. Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow. And everywhere that Mary went.
That was really funny. I tried to really think of like creative ways to like express the feeling that we were supposed to do.
Very good. Sadly with a hurt.
I just say confusing.
Sadly with a hurt foot. You're not confused.
Alright.
Actually, the auditions were exactly what I expected. They were light. They usually are on the first night. I have had a few calls today to discuss people wanting to come tonight, but actually some of the talent we got last night was great.
I felt kind of normal up there because I knew Mr. Erb from the meetings, and I'm pretty comfortable on stage, so I felt comfortable.
The ruby slippers? The slippers! Yes, the slippers! Which? Who, Toto?
Mary Mallon, a young actress from Concord, is also auditioning for the role of Dorothy.
Dorothy?
I've always wanted to play Dorothy.
Which?
So I really was hoping to get the part. I thought it went as normal as most of the auditions go. I sung my song and then I read my monologue. It was pretty quick and pretty painless.
After all the actors had auditioned, it was up to Tom to choose the cast. When he calls the next day with his decisions, reactions are mixed.
Taylor, this is Tom Erb. How are you? You know, you did a great job last night. Okay, you have a great stage presence. Okay, I just wanted to tell you that. Okay, and I liked all the things that you were doing. I would like for you to be a member of the ensemble if you take the part.
I was a little disappointed, but I realized that, it'd be a good opportunity to get involved because I've never been in that theater with him. So I decided that I would try it.
How are you? Okay.
I was really sort of hoping for Glinda the Good Witch, so I was pretty excited when he called to tell me that's what I got.
I invite you to be a member of the Wizard of Oz ensemble.
I wanted to be the Good Witch, but obviously that doesn't happen. When you start in theater, you really have to start from the bottom up. So most of the roles I've gotten are ensemble, but as you learn more and you're into more shows, you can go up to supporting roles and then leads, and I think it's just a learning thing. You got to start from the beginning.
And although there were many talented young actresses who auditioned for the role of Dorothy, in the end, only one person could be chosen.
This call is for Mary.
Actually, I wasn't home when Tom called, so my dad took the message for me, and when I came home, I was just really excited. I was so happy to get the opportunity to play this part, and I've always wanted to, so I was just thrilled.
Once the cast was selected, it was time to move on to the next phase of producing a play, the rehearsals. The cast of The Wizard of Oz had 7 weeks to get their show ready for performance. During the 7 weeks, 3 basic things have to happen. 1, all of the actors have to be shown where to move on stage. 2, all of the actors must memorize their lines and fine-tune their characters. And 3, all of the technical elements like the lighting and the sound have to be ready for opening night.
Okay, so for tonight, we are going to block a scene. It's a long scene, one of the longest scenes in the play. And it's the scene after the house lands on the witch. And turns into what? Munchkinland. Whatever I tell you to do in a blocking session, please write it down. Please notate on the paper what I've asked you to do. Michelle will keep track of some of it, but What's most important is I don't have to repeat myself. It saves us a lot of time. The yellow brick road, by the way, is this. So everyone understands our set. The yellow brick road is this walkway here.
On the first night of rehearsals, the actors are almost all strangers to each other.
When I first auditioned for the show, I didn't know anybody at all.
I knew like 3 people when I first started, and then, you know, I started talking to other people more, just like, hey, how are you, like when we walk in, and we start talking and stuff.
But putting on a play is like a team sport. It's a group effort, and as rehearsals go on, the group gradually starts to gel.
But I think it might be worth 5 or 10 minutes on either Wednesday or Thursday and maybe take it sort of as a break mid-session. I don't know half the cast's names, and I don't think we all know each other.
Okay, we can do that.
And I think it would be really helpful to just say, hi, I'm Amy, you know?
I'm Ariel and I'm in the ensemble.
I'm Calvin and I am Uncle Henry, Mayor of Munchenland, and ensemble.
And Mara.
And Maya, right? You said that.
I am Hannah and I'm in the ensemble. I'm Taylor and I'm in the ensemble.
It's been really fun with this play because actually, since it is sort of a first production in Marlborough and it is a summer theater, we've had a bunch of people come in from all sorts of areas. You know, the Lion comes in from Brookline, and Mary comes in from one of the other surrounding towns outside of Marlborough. And it's been exciting to sort of find out what everyone's background is and how it all sort of led to this point.
For many of the actors, this is their first time participating in community theater. This experience allows them to work with actors they wouldn't normally be exposed to.
It's a lot different because knowing people, you know how they act and you can talk to them more. These people, you really just watch and you're like, wow, like people at our school don't do things like that, or they just act differently. So it's interesting to watch them on stage. You learn new things.
Working with adults is also a new and positive experience for many of the young actors. Calvin La Liberté is a Marlborough High School freshman.
Since you're working with adults, I think that makes it a lot more professional. Because with the shows and before, it's just all teenagers around my age.
The Wizard of Oz calls for a broad range of ages. The youngest performers are only 6 and 7 years old. 2 of the Munchkins making their debut in The Wizard of Oz are Colleen McCarthy and Christine Mallon.
So do you like being a Munchkin?
Yep.
What's your favorite part?
The Lullaby League.
Oh, the Lullaby League? Yeah, it's pretty fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, do you want me to sing it for you?
Oh, sure, yeah.
And you put your foot, first I do my right foot, like this. We represent the Lullaby League, the Lullaby League, the Lullaby League, and in the name of the Lullaby League, we wish to welcome you to Munchkinland.
For Christian, the brother of the actress who plays Dorothy, one of the benefits of being in The Wizard of Oz is making new friends.
I made a friend with this kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Which one?
Nicholas.
But like for any seasoned actor, the long rehearsals can take their toll.
Yeah, one time we were like really tired, and the whole Munchkins were wicked tired because we didn't take a break, and we were like, oh. But then, and I was like that too, but I just needed a drink, and my dad ran out to the soda machine and got me one.
As rehearsals move closer to opening night, it becomes imperative that the cast remembers their lines and where they're supposed to go on stage. This is especially true for Mary, who has the most lines in the play.
I have the whole first act down and most of the second act. There are little spots where I haven't fully got the line, but I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty ready.
With 3 weeks to go before showtime, the actors are fitted for costumes by volunteer costume designer Grace Lyons.
I feel pretty. I'm stuck.
And there is plenty of work yet to be done before the ensemble will be ready for opening night.
We'll be finished blocking the show by Wednesday night, and by Thursday we should be running the entire show, which means we're going to run the whole show and find out if everybody remembers their blocking and fix any rough spots. And at that point, then we will start trying to do some rehearsals with costuming, and we'll also try to do some fine-tuning with characterization. And then I'll start worrying about the set, which is what I'm worrying about now.
The week before showtime, many of the cast members help build the set during the day and come back at night for rehearsals.
One of the great dynamics of at least a good theater company is that rallying spirit, that pulling it together at the end, that going for gusto until you get it done. So we'll rally. We'll be there.
No stress. You'll be pleasantly surprised just how wonderful it'll be.
Why does theater enrich our lives?
It allows us to dream. It allows us to go places that we wouldn't normally go. That's all it does. It takes that empty canvas that when the curtain is closed and just before the show is going to start, you've got an empty canvas. And in 2 hours, you've seen something you wouldn't normally see.
On August 29th, 30th, and 31st, the Marlborough Repertory Theater made their debut with The Wizard of Oz. The actors have been preparing for this moment for 7 weeks.
I always hope to give the audience the best performance that I can, but once I'm on stage, I'm not nervous or anything at all. It's really funny because right when I'm like in the wings, ready to go on, I'm a little nervous and a little jumpy, and then when I get on stage, it's like I'm completely relaxed.
And rather than feeling scared about performing in front of an audience, most cast members, like Colleen McCarthy, look forward to it.
Well, I think it's going to be like, I'm kind of like a star.
Oh, yeah.
But I think everyone should be stars, not only one person, because then they'll feel a little upset.
Yeah.
So I think everyone should be stars.
Before the ensemble's fourth and final performance, the backstage area is abuzz with excitement.
It's a little crazy around here. We've got a lot of energetic little ones, a lot of energetic old ones, so it's good. There's a lot of energy in the air, especially tonight because it's our last show.
While the crowd outside buys their tickets and takes their seats, the actors review their lines and discuss last-minute improvements to their scenes. In addition to the anticipation of showtime, there's also a growing awareness that this experience is about to end.
It's going good, but it's the final show, which is pretty sad, you know.
Nervous.
It was fun. It was fun.
For Amy Asman, a former student at the Yale School of Drama, the bittersweet quality of showtime is nothing new.
When we walk through the doors, we are our own community. It's such an intense, dynamic relationship in such a concentrated time that you're sort of forced to get to know one another and share these wonderfully rich experiences that it's often very sad when shows end that people tend to keep in touch, so your theatrical family sort of grows and grows and grows over your life.
For Tom, the curtain closing on The Wizard of Oz may be the end of this particular play, but it might just be the beginning of a long life for the Marlborough Repertory Theater. Plans for the Marlborough Repertory Theater's next production are in the works now. For information about upcoming auditions and showtimes, visit their website at fhtheater.tripod.com. For Marlborough Magazine, I'm Sophie Burke.
Recycling is something we should all be doing, but maybe we don't understand all the ins and outs. Marlborough Magazine's Cindy Hale went out and put together all you need to know about recycling in the city of Marlborough.
When I first bought my house in Marlborough 2 years ago, I was excited about moving into a community that had curbside recycling. I'd lived for many years in the southern states where they really didn't have recycling at all, much less curbside. So I wanted to find out more about it. I didn't even know how to start. So I went to the website in Marlborough to find out just what exactly I needed to do as a resident to learn how to do curbside recycling. The website said I could pick up a recycling bin from the DPW. While I was there, I had the opportunity to speak with Assistant DPW Commissioner Doran Kraus.
I think the City Council and the Public Works Committee has an ideal program, and right now we're pushing education. The best way to get the recycling rate up is through an educated public, and we're working through that with programs such as this. There have been numerous newspaper articles on it. We're going to continue with the DEP's recycling grant that will have house-to-house mailings for the recycling postcard and calendars. And we're hoping that the educational program works to get the recycling rate up. Should that not work, there are other more aggressive measures that can be considered by the council, such as a mandatory recycling program where if people are not recycling and if the banned items are showing up in the trash, that those materials be left. As I mentioned, it's a banned waste stream item, so bottles, cans, and newspapers are not allowed in the waste stream, and it becomes, in effect, a mandated recycling program because it's the only other proper and legal way to dispose of these materials.
Doran Krause explained that I needed to separate plastic, glass, paper, cardboard, and metal from the rest of my trash. Well, I just finished a week's worth of recycling. I got my bin from the DPW, and I've sorted my newspapers. But I gotta tell you, I really don't understand why I'm doing all this. I met with Bob Spencer of We Care Environmental. He gave me a tour of the residential recycling drop-off facility.
This is where recycling makes economic sense, because every ton of bottles and cans and paper that you throw away with your trash is costing the city about $93 a ton. And this box here will be taken down to the composting facility. It goes across our scale, which you saw the truck on earlier, and it goes in an invoice to the city. So we encourage the residents to remove those recyclables. It helps us make a better compost product, and it saves the city money. This is a pretty easy thing for people to recycle. You take your junk mail, your newspapers, the kids' straight A papers from school, whatever, and put them in a separate box and bring them down, and they get recycled. This goes to a recycling center in Auburn, and the paper is reprocessed and made into other paper products, fiberboard, book covers, things like that. We also take what's called commingled containers, glass bottles, plastic bottles, tin cans, etc. They can be commingled. That means you can have them all mixed together. It's pretty convenient. You just dump them in here. Again, that material is costing the city $93 a ton to get rid of if it's in with your trash. Another item to bring down are reusable clothing. It's not for junk rags, etc., but Goodwill takes pocketbooks, shoes, bedding, blankets, and reusable clothing. And this is a great outlet for recycling because it's actually a higher level. It's called reuse. This material gets out to folks who need it, and it also supports Salvation Army.
The hardest thing about getting ready to recycle was I found that I wasn't very organized. I went to the home of Robert and Andrea Katz to get a better idea of how to set up my house for recycling.
We do lots of recycling here, and I'm proud to say I think we got a pretty good system down that the kids and everybody else that comes into this house understands on how it works. So let me take a minute to show you how it works and what we do in the Katz family. For example, today I left these out on the countertop. The kids obviously have cereal in the morning, they finish that off, and at lunchtime French fries and things of that nature. But what we do, obviously if you put the box in like this, it's too bulky. So what we do is at the ends here, we open it up and we break it down as quickly and easily as we can, and then we just simply flatten it. That reduces the space when you go to put it away somewhere. Again, just keep it open. The bottoms are usually just a stick-em there, and you just open it up and you flatten it out. And then in our household, underneath the sink, we have two baskets. One for the items that aren't going to be recycled, and two, we have a bag where we put recyclable items into. In this case, I'll just simply put these in the bag like this. We also finished off an orange juice container today. The plastic, that is recyclable, that will go in there. And then the milk cartons, again, they're bulky. So what you want to do there is take a minute and just crush it a little bit. Make sure it's washed out first Otherwise, after a week of sitting in your garage or two, it'll start to smell. So wash it out. This one was already washed out. And then we simply put it back in here. And this bag is filled at this point in time, so what I will do is show you how we do this. We take it downstairs and we sort it out. I'll show you that. But until it's filled, I would normally just leave it under the countertop for the time being. So let's take a walk over to the other side of the kitchen where I'll show you one other aspect of how we recycle in our kitchen. Over here, what we do is we pile the newspapers up for the course of the week. And we just simply stack them over here. And then at the end of the week, we'll pull them out. My wife, Andrea, is always good enough to leave a bag or two from the grocery store next to it for me. Open it up. Again, the bag also is recyclable. And we simply just load up the bag with the newspapers. Circulars, everything can go in there in the newspapers. And I'll just fold the last bit over here. And the bags in Sudbury Farms are nice enough to come with handles, and hopefully they don't break as you carry the newspapers down. So we position everything where it's a nice smooth rotation through the kitchen, and then we head downstairs into the basement to put it in the recycling bins. Okay. And then here in the garage, we then put the newspapers. This is the second bag for the week. So I just pile them up over here. Here we've had some excess bags from the supermarket, so I decided to finally throw these away because I'll never catch up and start to use those either. Here, for example, is where I put my milk carton. So as you saw upstairs, we had a milk carton, so I'll just simply drop it in there. A juice container simply will go in the recycling bin itself. Paper goods or boxes I'll take out, and actually I'm going to need a new bag for that because that bag's already filled up. So again, my wife is good enough to make sure I always have extra bags around. And so we'll start a second bag of filling up with the box items. A bottle itself, plastic bottle can go in there. Another one can go in there. And some mail, that's, some flyers from various companies, which I don't read out that often, will go in a paper good type section as well. I can either reuse this bag upstairs, which I will because this one's been kept nice and clean, and we'll start the whole cycle all over again.
So now I understand why it's important to recycle. If you'd like to get involved in the city's recycling program, please contact Doran Kraus at the DPW. His number is 508-624-6910. Remember, it takes all of us to keep the city clean and green.
That will do it for this issue of Marlborough Magazine. We'd like to remind you that if you'd like to get involved in any way, you can call Mike or Dan here at the station, 508-481-1373, or email us at marlboroughmagazine@yahoo.com. Feel free to send in your ideas for stories. I'm Susan Laufer. Thanks for watching.
This is Alan. He has cancer. This is Sarah. They've been together 46 years.
Way to go, sweetheart. Now go get it.
This is the number they called when he was diagnosed, so they could get answers to their questions,
Kiss that ball.
so they could get through this together. This is the American Cancer Society. This is who to call for help.
I love you.
Every day we throw away tons of trash that could easily be recycled. Every week in Massachusetts, we throw out almost 1 million newspapers. We use more than 9,000 plastic bottles every minute.
But only about 25% of them are recycled.
Some people think recycling takes too much time or it's too hard. This is going to be our world soon.
Help us take care of it.
Recycle. It's one place where a little effort can make a big difference.